Imagine waking up at 2:17 a.m. You walk downstairs, open the door, and vanish. This nightmare happens not to one, but 17 children. A child narrator explains that one day, 17 elementary school-age kids, all of them from the same class, vanished without a trace at exactly 2:17 a.m. The time was noted by various security cameras that captured them seemingly of their own free will, running out into the night with their arms held out at the side in a kind of a creepy flying. Nobody knows where they've gone or why they are gone. The aftermath of this incident leaves the town blaming each other as they look for answers. The film follows a few of these struggling figures, including the class teacher, Justin, a father of one of the missing boys, Archer, school principal, Marcus, and Alex, the only member of Justin's class that didn't disappear. Okay, so this movie have different characters and it is told in different chapters. It makes it a bit more confusing, but bear with me. So first of all, we meet Justin, a school teacher, the one who has had 17 children from her class went missing. She is just as confused as everyone else, if not more, because the whole town accuses her of knowing something and hiding something, since all the children that went missing are from her class. Some even suspect that she has been teaching things that she shouldn't teach. As a result, Justin is troubled. Justin cannot sleep. She's having nightmares, and she senses that people in the town hate her. Indeed, whilst she is in her apartment, she hears a very aggressively banging noise in her door. When she went to check, she just realized that someone painted her car. This, of course, made her angry, and she does go to the police station to report, but she is dismissed. We then get to see that Justin is actually having an affair with one of the police officers. They hang out, and we get to see that things leads to, one thing leads to another. Then Justin, who is suspended from school because everyone feels uneasy, especially the parents, with her still being in school whilst the children are still missing, the ones that she was teaching. She therefore asked the school principal the permission to speak with the young boy, the only survivor, Alex. The principal told her that, listen, you are not the parent here. It's not your responsibility. You are suspended. You are not to interact with any child. But Justin couldn't help herself. She just couldn't help herself. She went on and followed Alex into his house. At first, she tries to speak to Alex, but Alex warns her. It sounded like it was a warning, saying, leave me alone. Justin just couldn't let it go. She goes and follows Alex into her home. She rings the doorbell. No one opens. She tries the back door gate, the backyard gate, and all the windows are covered with newspaper. When she tries to look through the window, she sees Alex's parents staring right at her. This scared her to death. When she looks again, they are still staring right back at her. So she therefore goes and speaks to the principal. She says something is creepy happening in that house. She feels like the principal should call welfare and social workers and everybody else just to check on Alex, and the parents. So therefore, the principal feels compelled to call Alex's parents in. But right before that, we get to move and see another important character, Archer, the grieving father. It appears that Archer lost one of his kids on that fateful night where all the children vanished at 2:17 a.m. Archer has been spending all and most of his nights in his son's room. We get to see his wife, and we can tell that their marriage is suffering because both of them, they are grieving. And we can tell that if there is one person who is not taking this grief well, it is Archer. It appears that Archer wakes up every morning in his son's bedroom and rewatch the camera footage that shows his son living, running out, wandering in the streets with his arms wide open. He goes to work. He is a constructor, and he ordered wrong paint. We get to see that the wrong paint that he ordered was red. Then we can only assume that the person who painted Justin's car was Archer. It moves to Archer being paranoid, going as far as knocking into the neighbors, trying to get their footage so that he can see what really happened to his son. Archer then realizes that no, the children were actually heading off in the same destination, but he cannot figure out which destination. But he gets to realize that they were actually heading off in the same destination. Archer then realizes that the best thing to do right now is to go and confront Justin. I don't know, but for some reason, Archer felt like confronting Justin is the right thing to do. Archer then finds Justin at the gas station, pouring the gas. Whilst we are seeing that, we get to see the principal running towards Justin, determined to want to end Justin. Archer intervenes and helps Justin with the principal. Then it moves to the principal. The principal actually asks the meeting to meet up with Alex's parents. And we then get to see this old but bright looking woman. She have red hair. She looks so bright. She loves bright colors. She have red lipsticks. She says that she is Alex's aunt, and she says that Alex's parents are sick, which for some reason the principal is having difficulties comprehending why Alex's parents are sick. For some reason, that meeting ended. But the woman follows the principal into his home. And she lies and says that she missed her bus. So therefore, she's looking for water. We get to see that the principal have a husband that he is living with. The husband is so nice and so welcoming and allows the old woman to get in. After all, who would ever think an old woman is harmful? This is the first sinister of the movie that we get to see. That, oh, the movie is sinister. We see this woman taking out a string wood, cutting principal's husband's hair, mixing it with the blood, and before we knew it, ringing the bell as well. Before we knew it, the principal was possessed, and the principal was attacking his husband. And this is when we knew that something is not nice and lovely about this old looking lady who looks so bright and colorful. And before we know it, the principal was after Justin. And this is how we get to see how and why was the principal after Justin. Right after that, we got to see the police officer, remember the one who was messing with Justin? That one. We got to see his side. He is having troubles. Him and his wife, yes, he's married, but he's messing up with Justin, are trying to conceive for a child. It seems like each and every time when he have difficulties with life, he somehow resorts to infidelity. So one day when he's doing his patrol, he meets this junkie who is breaking into someone's house. He chases the junkie and finally found him. The junkie said, "Hey man, I did nothing wrong. He then says, "Listen, therefore you should not run from the police officer." While he's searching for the junkie, if he have any weapons with him, he got pricked with the needle, and this worries him. He gets so worried that he kinda attacked the junkie, and all this was caught on camera. And he does treat his wounded finger. I'm guessing that he was worried that he could be infected with any sort of a disease, as this is a junkie, As soon as he realized that he got caught on a camera attacking a junkie, he therefore lets the junkie go and say, "Listen, I do not want to see you ever and ever again." He goes back to the police station, and whilst he's in the police station, he sees the junkie again heading towards the police. This is when he lost it, and he got into his car, chased the junkie again. Then again, we got to see things in the junkie's perspective. The junkie is looking for money. The junkie is trying to search for cars, if there is any car that is open, so that he could find something to steal. He found a baby's iPod and he went to a pawn shop trying to sell it, but the buyer just wouldn't buy because I'm guessing the child's iPad was broken. He therefore resolves into breaking in. He was like, okay, I guess my options right now is to try to break in the house. Unlucky and unbeknownst to him is that he was breaking in Alex's house. When he got there, he's trying to rob and he saw Alex's parents. For a moment, he's shocked, scared to death, seeing the parents staring right at him whilst he is robbing the house. As soon as he realizes that the parents aren't trying to stop him, aren't doing anything, he finds it odd, but he does not stop robbing the house until he opens the basement door and saw the children. Again, he freaked out of the house, he ran, and he still managed to steal some few items. And he go back to the pawn shop again, trying to sell. Whilst he's there trying to sell, he saw the poster. 17 children have been missing. If anyone have any knowledge of where they are, they could be rewarded with $50,000. And this is the junkie. The only thing that he's thinking about is that $50,000. He's like, I need the money. He calls the police station. The police station is like, listen, buddy, if you have information on those missing children, you need to come to the police station. He does explain that he got into trouble with one of the police officer and he cannot come to the police station, but they refuse to take him serious. They're like, listen, you gotta come to the police station. And when he went to the police station, this is when that we get to see that he was chased down by the police officer. Once he is found, the police officer catch up with him. He therefore reveals that he has knowledge of the missing children. The police officer is like, what's missing children? And it's like, those ones, the 17th, yes, I have knowledge. I know where they are. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to go. And I mean, this is the chunky. The police officer is really not taking his word, okay? He goes and rings the bells, and finally the door opens. He talks to someone, and a few hours passes by. Few hours later, the police officer just stormed off and drags the chunky right straight to the house. Now, things get even more horrific when we get to witness Alex's side of the story. Alex is an unpopular kid at school who get bullied a lot by his classmates rather. But still, he have loving parents. His parents are good to him and all that. Then one day, his parents told him that their mother's auntie is coming to live with them for a while. For some reason, Alex wasn't happy about this, and they did explain that the auntie is quite old and have no one to take care of her, so therefore she has to move in with the family. And indeed, when she arrived, she was barely walking. She was barely walking. When Alex is being driven to school, he asks his father, how long will this strange auntie woman stay with them? The father is like, I cannot answer directly, but probably 20 a month, And when Alex got back from school and realizes that his parents are non-responsive. His parents are there, but they are not there. It seems like their bodies are there. They can only just respond. And surprisingly, the auntie, Gladys, she is well. She looks bright. She have red hair on. She is well. This is when that we got to realize that this auntie did something sinister to Alex's parents. She therefore says that whatever that she did to the parents is not working in healing her. So therefore, she needs Alex to steal something that belongs to her classmates so that she can heal herself. Alex then asks, are you going to go back home as soon as you are healed? She's like, yes, Alex. Yes, I'm going to go back home. And we get to see that Alex will steal some items that belongs to her classmates, and those items, he stole them with an idea that Gladys will go back wherever she's coming from, and life will go back to normal again with him and his parents. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and this is why all the children were drawn into Alex's house at exactly 2:17 in the a.m. This old witch woman was using them to restrain her health. It seems like her health was really deteriorating and she was terminally ill. But for some reason, when she was using the children, feeding off them, she got not really healed, but she got restored. This can make us assume that she is an old witch, probably as old as 200 years old. She refuses to die, and she has been doing this for years and years. Again, I'm not quite sure why Alex's parents felt the need to take this woman in their house without doing any background check. Someone cannot come and say, I'm your auntie, and you take their word for it. And we get to see that Alex's parents was actually concerned that she never even made it in their wedding, But then they were like, okay, let's just dismiss all these unsettling things they heard about the woman. But then Justin and Asha finally caught up with what's happening in the house, and the children were found, The children were found as the good ending. The children attacked Gladys, and Gladys met her ending, thanks to Alex, who used Gladys's weapon against her. It is said that Alex's parents continued to be fed soup. I'm guessing that they were now at a home, not home, but at a home where they take care of people who cannot take care of themselves, and they were still being fed soup. Then the child voice told us that the children are slowly starting to recover, with some starting to talk. So whatever that this old woman who goes by the name of Gladys was doing to children, and even Alex's parents, was too powerful that it will kind of paralyze you or traumatize you for the lifetime. We then get to be told that Alex is now living out of the town with new parents. So this made me to assume that Alex was now adopted. Now, do you all fully blame Alex? In a way, I do. I do blame Alex. I feel like Alex should have told the authorities what was happening in her home. Perhaps the parents could have been saved sooner, and Gladys could have met her own ending sooner. Anyway, this is the end, and if you have enjoyed this movie, tell me what do you think of it. This is the movie that has been one of the most scariest movie ever been released in the history of movie. I just could not believe the plot twist. The plot twist got me.